Welcome to the bold analysis. And ladies and gentlemen, I can categorically say that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to hand over power to his deputy. If you're there and you've been doubting about that just like me, I think today's Madaraka Day events has confirmed that statement. Intentionally, the president phased out his deputy for the first time since the 9 years that they have been in power. Since the 9 years that they have been in power. And president phased out completely deputy president from the Madaraka Day celebrations. Today in the morning, there was president held a meeting with his cabinet in State House. That meeting, I think, was just part of the planning for them to give farewell, and it was a very scripted meeting so that the media would then interview the cabinet members of the cabinet on working with the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And what President was trying to achieve today with the Madaraka Day celebration is purely to show Kenyans what he has done for the country. However, I doubt whether that is going to be achieved because the concentration of the country is going to be on why he phased out his deputy. Now, if you followed through the Madaraka Day event, you will realize that Citizen TV crew was camping in State House while the cabinet ministers will be interviewed one after the other. They were saying what the government has achieved, and it was like one question that all of them were being asked. What can you say that your ministry has achieved? Nearly all the cabinet members that spoke to the media in State House were answering that question. On the other side, moments before the president left, deputy president was actually, moment before president left State House, deputy president was already in Uhuru Gardens waiting to receive the president. And there is what William Ruto was told and what he was not told. If you realize, the cabinet members of the cabinet were putting on that some yellow ribbon, like one that looks for like kama ya ashes, huh? And even deputy president and the wife Rachel was putting on that. So that one, they were very right. So there are briefs that he was given, welcome rather, to receive the visiting Sierra Leone president. But I dare ask, did he even know that? Because immediately he arrived in the stadium, he looked more confused. Look at this here. It seems the person who was receiving the DP, the protocol officer who was in charge, was just informing the DP about receiving the Sierra Leone president there and then. He did not even have information of everything that was going on. Now, the event went through, and of course, because it was the last event, the last celebration of President Uhuru Kenyatta, the president made sure, rather the military, because the president is the head of the defense, chief of defense forces, they showcased their military presence and how the kind of infrastructure that the president has invested in the military. That according to them is their way of bidding bye to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That took a little bit long. After that, it was entertainment, and from entertainment, according to the protocol, because the protocol had already been seen immediately. Earlier, it was after the military and entertainment. Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu was to take charge of the program. After Nairobi Governor, then Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu was to invite Deputy President. Deputy President will invite the President, or rather the Sierra Leone President. Then from that time, Deputy President will invite President Uhuru Kenyatta, and that's how it was gone. But from nowhere, the protocol was broken. And after that, what we witnessed is that the president Deputy President was not given an opportunity to speak. The last public appearance of Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta, the last appearance was the National Prayer Breakfast. And I analyzed here on the play differences between these two leaders because intentionally, President was not very close to his deputy. They were not even sitting closer to each other. And the question was there something that was happening that was sinister? But then it seems President Uhuru Kenyatta did not want anything to do with his deputy. So many after that, reports emerged, and I just want you to watch this video. Now, this is an edited video of allegedly people walking out of the stadium. People walking out of the stadium because DP Ruto was not given a chance to talk. Number one, people can't leave the stadium because they were not even sure whether the president then was going to talk later or not. But if you look at it critically, the truth of the matter is that President Uhuru Kenyatta faced off his deputy, altered that process, altered that protocol, and took charge. And as a presidential event, because when I was shooting this, the meeting was still going on, but in a presidential event, one thing that happens is immediately president speaks, that becomes the end of it. So last time they were here was in Jamhuri Day last year with the Raila Odinga, and president broke the protocol to invite Raila Odinga to make sure that this is achieved. And the president spoke about the issue of he's in charge, he's been in front seat, in the front war to support women and all that. So ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the reasons why Uhuru Kenyatta locked out Deputy President from the Madaraka Day celebrations. That Deputy President had mobilized Heckling gang, so that not a heckling gang, but cheer choir, a cheering team, and they were part of the team that were in Uhuru Gardens. And that would be because what Deputy President's handlers will normally do is they will take these national events as an event to show the might. So Ruto realized, maybe Uhuru's team realized, but because there was such a scheme by people that had been maybe facilitated by William Ruto's handlers to cheer him and just to show the might, they realized that they are going to disappoint that group. And the best way to disappoint that group is just to make sure that Deputy President doesn't talk. And I want to make it clearly. If of course, I will do another fact check on this video. I don't understand why when these people are leaving, it was just some few minutes after the president started talking, and we are going to look at that. If this group was leaving because Deputy President was not allowed to talk, then I ask a question. Did they come to listen to Deputy President? It's a very simple one. It means that they only came for the sole purpose of listening to Deputy President and not even the entertainment, not President Uhuru Kenyatta, not Raila Odinga. So for the Ruto bloggers who are running in social media and saying that some Kenyans are leaving Uhuru Gardens because Ruto is not talking there, they might be running with a narrative that only exposes something that was planned, that there were people that were planted there to maybe heckle the president, or when Ruto speaks, they cheer him off. But there is the truth of the matter here, and where I think that Ruto is not going, where I think that Uhuru is not going to hand over power to Ruto, and that's what he wanted to signal, is he wanted to show that he has been working with the military. If you listen through the awards ceremony, majority of those people who are awarded are from the military. Now, the military team, some of them are strategic managers in the military department and in the different ministries. He awarded people in the ministry and strategic leadership from the military. Now, part of what Uhuru was showing the country is that he has been working with the military. So even when Kenyans were asking where there was no cabinet meeting and how the government was being coordinated, I may understand that when President Uhuru realized that there was an internal sabotage within the government, that even at the cabinet level, he changed, he turned his back and now decided to work with the military. Because even the Uhuru Gardens, that field, for it, the work that was done there, it was spearheaded by a military man, a strategic manager that was plucked from the military because of the discipline and a lot of work they put to it. And I think with the time, that is why the president was showing a soft spot for the military. But this is also one of the reasons why another reason why I think the president does not have a soft spot for Ruto is the signal of the bitter disdain. You know, mostly in these public events, Deputy President and Ruto has not been, Deputy President and President Uhuru Kenyatta has not been good friends in the second term. That one is in the public domain. But when it comes to the public national celebrations like this, they tend to speak in one voice. They tend to play one for the gallery. Where even if there are disagreements, but unaona wanasalimiana, they even laugh, they come together, and that will be seen. But in this particular one, there was something that was specific that the president wanted to communicate, that the continued bitter fallout is not there. And what this will signal, this would actually then escalate the tension. And what he's simply saying, that there is not going to be any handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto before this general election. This was a very significant event because this is the last celebration that Uhuru is spearheading. Number two, this will be the very last public appearance with deputy president, and they would have maybe played one for the gallery and vouched for peace by just making sure that optics are right. But the president did not want the optics of him, deputy president. Now, third thing is what I've always mentioned. The president is normally very bitter with his deputy over what I can call as political deceit, of taking credit over government projects, while on the same side, on the other side of the mouth, he's opposing the government. Let us just preempt. What do you think was inside William Ruto's speech? One, William Ruto was going to talk about how the government has achieved some stuff in the second term, how what the foundation that the president has laid is going to be enough for him to mount his is going to take over from the president, and try to envision, or rather a speech that would propagate, or rather will try to bargain, or rather will try to market the bottom-up economic model. It will be a political event for deputy president. And I am not wrong, I may be wrong on this, but Ruto is a very smart and a clever politician that will even use that opportunity to play politics. Like during the national prayer breakfast, he decided to call Martha Karua while it was nowhere. And we were told that the president was the one to call Martha Karua when Raila was not there. Lastly, Uhuru is signaling transition politics. The transition politics is this, and this is something that should worry the Kenya Kwanza team. Uhuru is dealing with now judiciary. He's very close to Mother Koome. Uhuru is very close to the military. And at the same time, this national event will signal his transition plans, or rather the mood of the transition. But with the kind of the disdain to deputy president, he's simply giving a very a worrying call to deputy president. What Kenyans would expect is when they bond together and they play one for the optics, the propaganda team will run with it. And I know, we've always been saying that one of the things that Kenya Kwanzas are very perfect, they have mastered well, is capturing the propaganda in any other slightest political opportunity that comes their way. The truth is, transition is going to be, the transition from the President Uhuru Kenyatta to deputy may not exist. And the president wanted to show that he doesn't have a soft spot for William Ruto. Because someone would ask, if his last national holiday, this is what plays out between him and deputy president, how about if he is to hand over power to William Ruto? What could it be? But then, just a wild one, and of course I might come back to look at it. Did President Uhuru Kenyatta plan at the back of his mind? Because he knew that with the emerging political conversation going on, in this Madaraka Day, the focus would be on his track record. But just to make sure that he changes that agenda, he will then play one gig with deputy president. And I can assure you that the majority of Kenyans and all the political focus will be on why that incident happened. And no one would actually talk about the track record. It would actually come at the last pages of the tomorrow's newspaper. The headline will be on the snubbed public speech by deputy president. Now that is one. And ladies and gentlemen, you can tell me, you can also give us your feedback on this.